Welcome to the Skin Surgeon Explainer. Have you ever just stood there in the middle of a skincare aisle or maybe stared at your phone screen, feeling completely and utterly overwhelmed? You know exactly the feeling. You're surrounded by just endless rows of products. There's a $200 serum for the morning, a totally different one for the night, a cream specifically for your eyes, some acid for texture, a peptide for collagen, and suddenly you're staring at a 10-step routine that promises you the world. Honestly, it's built to make a normal person feel behind. It makes you feel like you just aren't doing enough or spending enough to actually take care of your skin. But here's the truth. The skincare aisle is basically charging people what we call a luxury tax on confusion. The beauty industry, well, they profit from your anxiety. They make you think you need this massive, complicated, incredibly expensive routine to look good. But the actual evidence, the real scientific data, it's way less dramatic. And thankfully, it's way more useful. So if you want the best routine, your first move actually isn't to buy more products. It's to stop paying that luxury tax. The evidence-backed solution is incredibly simple, and you can easily do the whole thing for under $50 a month. So let's look at the $50 anti-aging routine and the 3 steps that actually matter. Real quick, before we dive in, a very important note. This explainer was prepared by Dr. Thomas Hocker. He's a Harvard and Mayo Clinic-trained, triple board-certified dermatologist, Mohs surgeon, and dermatopathologist. What we're covering today reflects his opinions and expertise, and the evidence was reviewed for up-to-date accuracy on July 6, 2026. Keep in mind, this is for general education only. It's not personal medical advice, and it certainly doesn't create a doctor-patient relationship. You should always see your own clinician for individual care, and of course, seek urgent care for urgent symptoms. All right, Section 1, the 3-step foundation. Cleanse, protect, moisturize. So let's get right into the core of this and see how it builds. We're pivoting straight to the evidence-based solution for that overwhelming skincare aisle. For most people, the highest value anti-aging routine boils down to a super simple foundation. Step 1 is a gentle cleanser. Step 2 is a broad spectrum SPF 30 or higher applied every single morning. And step 3 is a basic moisturizer. That's it. Look how beautifully short that list is compared to some chaotic 10-step routine. The foundational mantra I really want you to remember today is this: boring wins. The best routine isn't the strongest one or the most complicated one. It's the routine that you'll actually use consistently. Section 2, sunscreen, the ultimate anti-aging product. Now, why is sunscreen the undisputed champion here? Well, it's not just for a day at the beach. Aging skin isn't just about birthdays passing by. A massive part of what we see as visible aging is literally just sun damage. The sun's ultraviolet light actually breaks down collagen. That's the very protein that keeps your skin firm and smooth. So sunscreen isn't just a side character in your skincare story. It is the absolute ultimate anti-aging product. To put that into perspective, there was a landmark trial called the NAMBER trial. They followed over 900 adults for 4.5 years. And they found that people who used sunscreen daily showed 24% less visible skin aging compared to folks who just used it sporadically. If you could only afford one single product to prevent visible aging, the evidence screams that it needs to be a broad-spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen. But what about the other 2 steps? Here's the science. Your skin is naturally acidic. Traditional, harsh soaps are highly alkaline, and they quite literally strip away your skin's protective barrier. That's what causes that tight, dry, irritated feeling. So we use a gentle cleanser instead to remove dirt and oil while actually preserving that natural barrier. Then we use a basic moisturizer just to seal the water in. A moisturizer reduces water loss and keeps that skin barrier healthy, which ultimately helps your skin tolerate everything else, especially your sunscreen. Section 3, the retinoid upgrade, when your skin is ready. Okay, so what if you have the big 3 dialed in and you've got a little extra room in your $50 budget? That's when we introduce the retinoid upgrade. If you're going to add one proven active ingredient, a retinoid applied at night is literally the only topical treatment with strong enough clinical evidence to earn a definitive spot in a budget routine. Just look at the sheer power of it. 80%. A famous study in the New England Journal of Medicine found that using prescription tretinoin, which is a potent retinoid, produced an 80% increase in collagen formation in sun-damaged skin. 80%. Tretinoin is actually FDA approved specifically to help mitigate fine facial wrinkles. Over-the-counter retinol isn't quite as potent as the prescription stuff, but clinical trials show it produces comparable improvements over time, just with a bit less irritation. But here is the massive catch, and honestly, it's where most people go wrong. If you start a retinoid, you have to go low, slow, and pea-sized. Retinoids can cause some temporary dryness, peeling, burning, and redness. Dermatologists call this retinization. Now, that doesn't mean your skin is ruined. It just means the dose is too high.
You need to start with a low strength, use literally just a pea-sized amount for your entire face, and only apply it 2 or 3 nights a week. You slowly increase that frequency as your skin builds up tolerance over several weeks.
Now, this is absolutely crucial, a firm safety warning you cannot skip. If you are pregnant or if you're trying to conceive, you must stop all forms of retinoids immediately. That means prescription tretinoin and over-the-counter retinol. It's a strict precautionary measure. If you need a safe alternative during pregnancy, especially for something like acne, azelaic acid is a fantastic, safe option to discuss with your doctor.
Section 4. Nuance and Skin Types. Adjusting the foundation.
So we've got our 3-step foundation plus our optional retinoid upgrade. And while this framework is great for basically everyone, we aren't all exactly the same, right? Different skin types and tones need slight, smart adjustments. Let's look at those nuances. If you have sensitive skin, your #1 priority is avoiding irritation. You'll want to look for strictly fragrance-free products and opt for a mineral sunscreen, one with zinc or titanium dioxide, because they're much gentler. If you're a teenager or have acne-prone skin, anti-aging really isn't your priority right now. Acne management is. So stick to oil-free, non-comedogenic products. And if you have darker skin tones, listen up. Sunscreen is absolutely still essential. While darker skin naturally has a bit more UV protection, it is highly susceptible to hyperpigmentation and dark spots caused by visible light. Standard sunscreens actually don't block visible light. You need a tinted sunscreen that contains iron oxides to get that full protection. Section 5. Skincare Myths Busted. What you can skip. All right, now for the fun part. Let's do some myth busting. We're going to break down the industry lies that drive up that luxury tax on confusion so you know exactly what you can confidently skip. First up, the collagen cream myth. The marketing myth is that putting collagen cream on your face replaces your lost collagen. The actual scientific fact, collagen molecules are massive. They are way too big to penetrate your skin barrier. Applying topical collagen is literally like trying to push a basketball through a chain link fence. It's just not going to work. It sits on the surface. They are essentially just expensive moisturizers. They absolutely do not rebuild your face. Myth number 2. You need a dedicated eye cream and a separate neck cream. Here's the fact. There is zero medical evidence that the skin around your eyes or on your neck needs some completely different, magically expensive formula. Eye cream and neck cream, they're just marketing categories. Your regular, gentle facial moisturizer, your sunscreen, and your retinoid work perfectly fine on those areas. Save your money. Then we have the nice-to-have extras. Things like vitamin C. It has some moderate evidence behind it, sure, but it's highly chemically unstable and breaks down super easily in the bottle. Hyaluronic acid is a fine hydrator, but it only plumps the surface of the skin. It doesn't structurally erase wrinkles. Peptides have some very modest effects, but they are absolutely not Botox in a bottle, despite what the hype says. And those incredibly expensive luxury brands, there is zero clinical evidence that a $60 sunscreen protects you any better than a $10 drugstore sunscreen. If you're on a budget, you can comfortably skip every single one of these. Section 6. Safety and red flags. When to see a dermatologist. As much as we love an empowering at-home routine, we have to be real about the limits of over-the-counter skincare. Sometimes no serum or moisturizer is going to fix the problem, and you need to step away from the skincare aisle and step into a doctor's office. Here are the clear red flags, your dermatologist triggers. If you have any new or changing moles, especially if it's asymmetrical or has irregular borders, if you have a sore that just won't heal after 3 or 4 weeks, if you or your teenager are dealing with severe, deep, or scarring acne, over-the-counter stuff just isn't enough for that and you need prescription help to prevent permanent scarring. Or if you have persistent rashes or rapid skin changes. If you see any of these, please stop relying on the internet and go see a board-certified dermatologist. Early skin cancer detection quite literally saves lives. So what's the big takeaway from all this? I want to give you a really simple, safe, actionable next step. Tonight, I want you to go look at your bathroom counter. Look past all the clutter. Do you have a gentle cleanser? Do you have a broad spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen? And do you have a basic moisturizer? If you have those 3 things, congratulations, you already have 90% of what you actually need. If not, that's your simple shopping list and you can grab it all at the drugstore. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to healthy, youthful skin, consistency with a simple, evidence-based, budget-friendly routine is the true secret. You really don't need a 10-step miracle. You just need the right steps. Remember, boring wins. Stop paying the luxury tax on confusion, stick to the foundation, and let the actual evidence do the heavy lifting for your skin. So, which of the 3 steps are you missing, and what are you going to stop wasting your money on tomorrow?